Hello everyone and welcome back to Anmore Virtual Bus. You join me today in Cranleigh, specifically at I have put the wrong camera on to see it, at the Downfleet Terminus, that's the one. Downfleet Terminus on Route 31, that operates between Downfleet and the city centre. It has a 2-bus peak vehicle requirement on the map, and that means that there's 2 vehicles operating it. Although today, for some reason, the AI doesn't want to work properly. So, yeah, we ain't going to see the other bus, I'm afraid. But we do have an incredibly exciting bus in front of us while we are causing absolute carnage in Downfleet, in the form of Go Ahead West Yorkshire's 24031. This is a 17-plate Enviro 200 MMC 8.9 metre long Mini, and was new to East Yorkshire Motor Services as their number 510 in 2017. The vehicle operated around Scarborough predominantly for the first part of its life, and operated around Scarborough on the local services, replacing some of the older Dennis starts at the time. In more recent times, the vehicle has operated, I believe, out of OMSI depot on local services there, as well as having short stints at Bridlington and Hull, and is now part of a very small number of E200 MMCs that has moved across to the Fourways operation based near Cleckheaton in West Yorkshire for the new expansion for Go Ahead West Yorkshire, which has just taken over the 213, the 112 and the 112A services that operate around the Ossett, Dewsbury and Batley areas from station coaches who have stopped operating public service work. In this video, we're going to be taking this bus on the 31 service. We are using the V3D Enviro 200 model with the enhancement pack installed so that we can get some good camera views. It's a false route, that's good. Oh, we've got to do the lines. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. 31, our route is 01. That's the wrong route. Our route is 02. That's the correct route. We'll move it a little bit further up to stand. We'll log our machine in. There we go. And we have the blind on. Whether these people want to board or not, by the looks of it, is a very different question. But the destination blind is all set. It is, what time are we due up here? 30. So let's move time forward a little bit. See if we move forward, see if anybody wants to get on. I mean, there's a lot of people there, but not a lot of them want to board the bus by the looks of it, so I don't quite know what to do. So we'll pull it forward. We are here. I'm going to get a very nice screenshot of the bus because we have our incredibly nice camera angles, and it does actually look pretty cool. And then we'll have a little chat about Go Ahead West Yorkshire. Unfortunately, for some reason, and I have dabbled between the base V3D MMC and the enhancement pack, for some reason I cannot get the registration plates to work at all. It just blank. I don't quite know why. I have tried a few different things. I haven't gone into the listings to add the regs and the numbers manually because I was just like, I can't bother doing that right now. But I tried to do them through the OMSI 2 setup and it just didn't want to work. Put the apps to try and get the different levels on and it just didn't want to work. But as I say, this is 510 and I think we can ignore that little bit. Now we're waiting for the time to go. Just to point out that this is a private repaint that I have been given very, very, very nice exclusive privilege to show from Mike Ray, who has made it. As I say, it is an absolute corker repaint. I haven't been to see these buses in real life yet. They are on the to-do list, but as you can see, just like they do in real life, they have a full ship-shape moquetted interior. It still has some East Yorkshire branding at the front, as you can see, and at the moment they have 513 on loan. That isn't one of the ones moving across. It is in the covering for one that hasn't been finished yet. So they do have one running around in full East Yorkshire colours. The rest of them have been repainted externally with the internal seating still the same. Very similar to the B7 RLE's Evolutions that they're using on the 571 service. Anyway, if no one wants to get on the bus, it is time for us to make a move. Now, for those of you that remember, the only thing I do not like about the turning around here. The only thing I really don't like about the setup with the enhancement pack is where the camera view is. I'm very much not a fan of it being as high as it is, but for the purpose of the other camera views it is worth it. That's why, because that was the terminus and this is the starting stop. Okay, and then was me getting worried then, thinking that people weren't getting off. Excellent stuff. There we go, let's get all these people on. So how did Go Ahead West Yorkshire come about then? So, a few years ago, Go Ahead started purchasing coach companies like First Bus have done as part of a strategic move into coaching as bus franchising began to take hold and began to be a main discussion topic following the successful legislation approval for what they've done in Manchester with the V network. So First Bus, Go Ahead, and I think Stagecoach did the odd bit as well, started buying small coach companies. Buying a few here and there. First bought York Pullman, they've bought Lakeside and a couple of others. Go Ahead bought a few on the south coast and bought Fourways. The idea behind purchasing Fourways that was part of Proctor's Group is they wanted the other elements of Proctor's Group. They didn't actually want Fourways, because Fourways was sort of this little weird bit of, have I gone the right way, or was I supposed to turn right there? No, okay. I know there is a right turn coming up for an estate, and I don't want to miss it, especially after our launch video where half the map disappeared. Then I'll explain why, because I've worked that one out since I filmed it, and I'll explain why that did happen. But basically, Go Ahead purchased Proctor's Group. That was Proctor's, it was Proctor's themselves, it was a couple of other Dales District, and a couple of other bits in North Yorkshire. The idea behind it is it links their operations of Go North East, East Yorkshire, as they won that, and sort of links a little bit more the operations together. Especially now that they're running North Riding. So that's the 18, so I'm going to assume that we also go this way. Because I mean, my signage has now disappeared. Again, that's not good. But they didn't want Fourways. Fourways was this weird bit that was quite a fair few miles away from the rest of the operation, and they used the old Arriva Bus and Coach site and sort of just like the team that with Temza dealership. So they were in the old Arriva Bus and Coach world bit, and they were based in the back. So it was all a bit strange, and they didn't want it. But Go Ahead eventually was like, okay, well, we'll have everything else, and then we'll take this then if that's going to be the only option. So they eventually folded and said, yes, we'll have it. So they had Fourways. And they were like, well, what do we do with Fourways? So Fourways has been left alone for quite a while until very recently.
This service is operated by Stagecoach and Surrey Bus Partnership.
Okay, we've got announcements. Oh, didn't realise we've had announcements. I forgot about that. But very recently, they had a bit of a think. The person in charge of the East Yorkshire bus operation has expanded into North Riding and looked at what to do next. And they realised that West Yorkshire is quite a hotspot for bits and bobs. And they realised that there's quite a lot going on in West Yorkshire that means that services aren't as good as they should be. I mean, Arriva Yorkshire, with the punctuality up till very recently, very much helped the cause for not a particularly good reputation for buses in West Yorkshire. So they thought, well, let's go for some services, and they won the 571. They put a bid in for that, and then they won it, with the idea being that that's 3 buses with a 4th that's spare, and then they've got a E200 that can use as a 5th spare bus, and they bought a Fourways business. So it all worked out, all made sense. So they started running the 571, and now they've done that, they've realised how successful that is, and how much money can be made from it all. And as a result of that, oh gosh, there's actually
The
people.
Rotherham
Okay,
Pool.
I didn't see you all because you did not come from the shelter.
Good day, driver.
So as a result of that, they've gone for these services as station coaches have decided they don't want to run in a bus service anymore. So they've given the 116 has gone to Yorkshire buses and their other local services, minus the 3 bus that they in Dewsbury that they are still running. So they are still running the 3 bus, and that I believe is it. And they are not running any of the other services that they previously ran. They're just running school services and the 3 bus. But they gave up all the local bus service work, so the little bits like the your 213, 112, 112A have all gone to Go Ahead West Yorkshire. So they're running these services from the base in
Blackpool,
Cleckheaton,
playing opposite Langley
using
Way.
these little E200 MMCs. That's why they are branded for the 213. But that isn't where the Go Ahead West Yorkshire store is ending though. The biggest one recently that I believe I can talk about, because I believe it's been publicly announced now, I think. There was a period I wasn't allowed to talk about it. But I believe I can now that it's been publicly announced. Is the fact that Go Ahead West Yorkshire have won the contract to operate the X98 and X99 services between Leeds and Wetham. The services that were previously run by First Bus and were given up by First. Transit took them over, and now Transit have got electric buses. They have to use diesel on that service, and it's got dead mileage, and the punctuality on it has been pretty abysmal. So they're giving it up. They decided to give it up, so quite a few operators went in for the service, and it was Go Ahead West Yorkshire that has won with an exceedingly low bid. That they've won with just brilliant service. So it's a foot in the door for them as franchising to come in. Go Ahead do want a foot in the door for all of the West Yorkshire franchising, thus why they're going for these services, and thus why their appearance in West Yorkshire is only going to grow over the next few years as they are wanting to get in for franchising. So it's going to be interesting to see what they use on the X98, X98, X99. I mean, there's quite a few bits and bobs coming off on the B network. I mean, there's a load of Euro 6 B90L Gemini 2 59 plates that have just come off that were operating the 163 service. They would be absolutely cracking for it. They'd do the job really nicely. Perfect, ideal buses for it. But we'll have to see. It'll be interesting what we get. It'll be interesting how they brand them. It'll be interesting what they do. And that's something to look forward to at the end of August. Until then though, it's still an exciting service because Transit Harrogate have started to use their Starbus scanning on the deckers on it on the covering diagrams when their very small fleet of diesel vehicles for the services are unavailable. So these on the deckers are starting to do it. So again, there is going to be an
Hello.
video
Hello,
on them,
mate.
as I do intend to go on these Starbus on the deckers, and that video will come very soon. So it's all very exciting in West Yorkshire. That's why I do need to go over and do quite a few videos, and I intend to do this month. I intend to do in August, should I say. I've got quite a lot of plans to get videos done. Quite a lot of plans to get videos done and to explore. I mean, there's an absolute ton to film at the moment, and that's just West Yorkshire alone. Although I do think I discussed this in the last video as well, where it's been that much has happened recently. It's just incredibly difficult to keep up with everything. Very, very difficult. So I'm having to start making a list as to what I actually need to film, because most of the time I just go into it and I plan in the morning, I go, well, I'll do this and this and this. But when there's this much going on that's going to involve a good few days to get everything in, it is going to take some incredibly good pre-planning in order to get everything filmed that I want to get filmed. Plus in between working and in between doing all of this, so much to do. So much to do, and as the world always is, so very little time to do things. I must say though, I do think that although it's quite basic, the Go Ahead West Yorkshire livery is very nice. Unfortunately, my only experience in Go Ahead West Yorkshire at the moment was when I went to go on the 571 at Shelf, to which it passed me not in service when I tried to go for it. and that unfortunately is my only experience to date
Now V3.
of go ahead West Yorkshire. So hopefully when I next go up, and I intend to sample these services as well, I won't have a repeat of that, because it was an absolute shame. I was incredibly excited. Really was excited to go on them. Go on the 571, go on a couple of buses on it, and it was so driving. It just went past night in service for whatever reason that happened. It also meant that I missed my next connection. It wasn't ideal because it was an E400 I wanted, but these things happen at the end of the day. There's always operational reason behind it, and sadly these things do happen.
Hello, lad.
Quite a busy bus today.
Cranleigh.
Oh, more people getting off. Oh no, there we go. Incredibly busy bus. I mean, to be fair, it is like 20 to 4, so it is like rush hour. Schools coming out and stuff like that. But absolutely huge. So busy going into the city centre on this bus. Oh my goodness, and more people have pinged in. Oh my goodness me.
Hiya, driver.
We're not. Hey, we're about 10 minutes away. That's fine. We have a couple of minutes late. Oh, hold on. That keeps messing with me. The pathing on this bus. The people have after them walk towards the door to ping into their seats. So I think someone's getting on. So to be fair, I do remember with Cranleigh, the timings are incredibly tight on these routes. Very tight timings. Keeps it exciting then, it is what real life's like, very tight timetabling, unfortunately. So just a regular video reminder for the Virtual Bus channel that you can send me in, just like this was, with this repaint. You can send me in your repaints, your buses, your maps that you're making. Email them to me at amc.anmorcentral@gmail.com. So that's amc.anmorcentral@gmail.com. The email address is in the description. Why are these traffic lights changing like they are? That's a bit weird. That was weird. I don't understand. So I will leave the email address in the description below. If you do have any, I'm going to assume that we're supposed to go now and the lights have just been set up a little bit incorrectly. So as I say, send me in anything. Oh, that's tight. There we go. Easy peasy. Send me in your repaints, your maps, your buses, anything like that, and I'll have a little look at them. I have got a little bit of a list developing as the stuff I'm looking at. I've sort of got a few that I want to look at, a few that people sent me in that I also want to have a nosy at, as I say, a few releases, a few that I've had sent in. So I'm getting the balance of them at the moment, and what have. So as I say, just keep sending them in. Any suggestions, bits like that, always let me know in comments as well. And the usual spiel of, in order to let the channel grow and what have, do click the like button. That way YouTube does it so that more people can find the video and enjoy it. Hopefully, just like you have this lot of people for this bus. I think we're going to start leaving people behind. We're starting to leave people behind.
What?
We are now full. Do I have a bus full blind? Is a bus full blind? You see, I might take the gamble of putting on the go-ahead blind on, but I also know full well that everybody might get off. Should I risk it? Okay, we're risking it. Put the Go Surrey blind on, because it is go-ahead. It is go-ahead. Go-ahead West Yorkshire, London, MMC. There we go. Join us today. Go Surrey. I'll have to wait a couple of stops and then we'll start getting people back on. So, but yeah, the usual spiel of if you click the like button, YouTube does it so that more people can find the video and enjoy it just like hopefully you have. And then, as I say, don't forget to click that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. So the more subscribers, the more exciting the likes of AMC Live is, stuff like that. What's the bus like? Excellent. We are also quite late. we are definitely developing a delay. And I also think we're getting near the city centre, judging by the slight drop in FPS. I absolutely love this map, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. But the only issue with it is the FPS drop is just substantial. It really is substantial when you start going into the city centre, and it was like I had the issues with the Omnidecker when that first came out on here. And it's a lovely map, but you can't have the AI buses on and use the really high quality buses and the really like high quality detailed ones, because it just doesn't match. It just like goes, I can't do it anymore, and just gives up. I know the game doesn't particularly want to do that, but at the end of the day, there's ways of optimising it. I mean, there's ways of optimising it, there's ways of doing it, and it is only a 0.99 release. It's Cranleigh still, it's not version 1 yet. So there is still opportunity for edits and fixes and all of that exciting stuff. I also did forget with Cranleigh just how long it takes for these lights to change. I'm going to be honest. But anyway, speaking of map bits and bobs and faults and all of that lot, why in the previous video did Watson not work? And it turns out that although I had everything installed, when I had uninstalled a map that I bought off Steam, even though the object did not come with this map, even though the objects were separate, for some reason OMSI 2, in its incredibly wise wisdom, decided to delete that object as well. So it sort of took the objects out that had absolutely nothing to do with this map, that I thought was incredibly bizarre. So I've got everything installed now, that's why this map has worked. It's still having a bit of a funny issue with the AI bosses and stuff. I don't know why. I mean, to be fair, this one's had a bit of an issue with AI bosses anyway, so is this map. That's not new, but I just thought for this particular video I'll leave it switched off and I'll try and chuck them on for the next one, I think. If we can get a nice screenshot again here, because that just getting some nice lighting today. They're just getting some absolute cracking lighting. Oh, I need to get rid of all that guys. But, oh, we're about to get mowed down by a car. Let's not do that today. Let's not. I don't fancy that. There we go. And with that, we'll put the arrows back on, because otherwise I ain't gonna have a clue. I'm about to get the mirror taken out, actually. You let me out. No! Why? Why? That means I've taken your mirror out and I've had to go on the curb. So the truck stopped to let me out, and then as soon as I pulled out its accelerator. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. Just like real life. Someone lets you pull out and then they decide at last second that they ain't gonna let you out anymore. Let's see if we can get another screenshot here actually, because that looks pretty nice. That really does actually look pretty nice. There we go, that'll do. Love the graffiti on the walls as well. It's not something you see that much in OMSI 2. You don't see the little bits of vandalism and stuff like that. I mean, that's something that people really focus on with like model railway. Well, is focusing on including the vandalism because like, well, these places would be graffiti and they would be wrecked, and you wouldn't get this like perfect place because it's what people are like, sadly. What is going on with the cars? The car just let itself out, the truck decided to cut me off. Brilliant. What a day, what a day. Oh, some pallets. Definitely need some pallets. I mean, I'm good. Some people might need pallets.
Wesley Park Road.
Also the thing, when the mirrors lag, as you can probably see, you genuinely cannot tell.
Hey, lad, bang your front
Sorry,
to go round
you
and
genuinely
round.
cannot tell if anyone is letting you out. Because it's just work. It's, I mean, that's what's really putting me off, is these mirrors, where the reflections are just lagging. Made it into the city centre. We've not done particularly too bad for time. That's good. Oh, they're both 31 stops. Oh no. No, I don't think they are. I think that one in front's someone else. I think that must be AI stuff, but all the people went to that other stop. There we go. It does look really nice as a livery. I am seriously looking forward to heading out about pretty soon to photograph it. I've been driven around Batley and all of that lot. At Yorkshire buses driving the 212 covering the first section of the 213 service from Sherback corridor. It's going to be really cool to see how these perform on the same hills and on the same challenges that we said like V9's on, Scania's on and stuff like that. It'd be really cool to see the contrast. How far away we are. Ah, 3 stops and we're there. How late to it? Nearly 5 minutes. Excellent stuff. And she's floating. She's decided to float. Welcome to that stop. That's the 10, not the 51. I do love the high street 5 with all bus stops though. I think that's really cool. And then the hills and the gradients. Again, we've had this conversation before, but the gradients and the hills and all of the challenges that you don't find in a city centre in OMSI usually, but you find in real life city centres.
Rawlington Crescent.
believe this is the bit where we now loop round to where we were. You let me out on a roundabout. Well, this isn't going to work, is it? Because then I've got to go incredibly far out in order for you to be able to go. That's why the idea of that did not work in any shape or form. That's why you don't give way like that roundabout. I've just had a Mercedes driving beside me. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Oh, the clouds are moving. It brightened up there for a brief second. This is what I love about having the real weather from a location on. Is the weather can sometimes change. I mean, sometimes it's a bit unrealistically dramatic of a change, but times like this where the cloud cover slightly moves, it just reminds you what OMSI 2 is capable of. But it's one of these features that, unless you do mess around with the weather and you do pick a location that is like a cloud nation, you don't realise that OMSI 2 is actually capable of producing all this lovely different weather. There's the PR3 terminus. We're still going one more stop. Judging by the mass movement, I think this is our stop. Although it is, to be fair. I remember coming here last time we did 31 because we started doing it. We were just too late throughout the majority of it. Brilliant. Good stuff. So yeah, so that was the 31 service. I really enjoyed that. With the lovely Go Ahead West Yorkshire Repaint by Mike Ray. Thank you so much for providing this. Just to note, the repaint is a private one at the moment. It might get released in future, I don't know. If there is enough of you in the comments say very nice things about it, it might get released, but it will depend on what other repaints are done with this pack, and as I say, availabilities and all of that other stuff, all the fancy T's and C's behind the scenes. But I do thank him for allowing me to drive this repaint in the video. It's really, really nice to be discussing Go Ahead West Yorkshire and driving the new brand, the new livery, because as I say, it does look really cool. Especially on a route like this, that it did seem to suit very, very nicely. With all that said and done, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have done, please do click that like button, as if you do click it, YouTube means that this video is shown to more people, then more people get to watch it and go, oh, I really like that. And then when we do the likes of AMC Live, and there's more of you subscribed and all of that, lots, again, do click that subscribe button. It does mean that the AMC Lives that we do in multiplayer are even more fun. Well, once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Bye for now. Bye.